boards. Bobby Clark slides it back to the net to Prop. To Clark. He hit the side of the net with a shot. Prop has it again. The penalty is over. Here's a drive from close in. And Reagan standing up there stopped it. Now Marsh feeds it ahead on the left side for Houston, who has returned having served that interference penalty. 7 minutes left in the period. Here's Bridgman, and he has some room. Bridgman coming in, and the low shot is stopped by Reagan. Live from the Spectrum in Philadelphia, the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Look at
an interference call.
Now referee Bruce Hood, he is calling everything tonight. Both teams will not get away with a thing. Again, the Flames will play a man short. It was Murdoch right in front of the net, taking out the Flyer. So another power play opportunity. Let's watch Murdoch. Interferes with Bridgman. Just bumps him. Bridgman didn't have control of the puck or didn't even touch the puck. So Murdoch will head for the box. Again, the Flyers on the power play. The last time, very composed Flame Hockey Club. When they had possession, they looked for the open man or iced it.
There's Bill Clement again, number 10 for Calgary. He's the premier penalty killer on this team. He has Hislop with him up front. Russell and Marsh are the two defensemen. 2-0 Calgary. They'll try to hang on again as Philadelphia has the man advantage. There's Barber turning around near the line. Cuts over in front. Can't get a shot. They're on him right away. And it's Hislop clearing it off the glass down the ice, racing after it. St. Croix 30 feet out of the net to stop it in the corner and trying to play it ahead. He does. McLeish comes back, but Calgary in control now. And Marsh takes a long shot. St. Croix has to stop that with a stick. Barber feeds it back. Philadelphia unable to get anything going so far. Calgary full value for their 2-0 lead, and they're playing great defensive hockey.
What a play by Phil Russell standing up on that blue line. Now that's what I mean by challenging. Don't let the team cross over that blue line. Russell, a good one-on-one play against Paul Holmgren. This is what you talk about, standing up, making contact. Watch Russell. He's not watching the puck. Take the man out. And then there was an offside call.
2-0 Calgary on top of Philadelphia. 2 power play goals, and right now Philadelphia is on a power play. Unable to get too much room inside that Calgary blue line, though. It's cleared to the line. Barber feeds it over. There's the pass in front to Lindsman. He rolled it in front. A scramble. Down goes Reagan. And he's got it. And he hangs on to it. McLeish right in on the doorstep.
Well, that time the Flames are caught out of position. Flyers finding that open man, had a good scoring opportunity, but Pat Reagan was able to sit on it. Here's the way the goaltender sees it. A lot of concentration, and it's tough when you got big number 17 Holmgren in front of you. Sliding out just to make that save. Talked about a goaltending effort that they need from Reagan. They're getting it thus far.
1:09 left in the Murdoch penalty. He's off for interference. 2-0 Calgary. 5:51 left in this first period. Marsh hooked it back to his own net. Barber from the blue line. Couldn't keep it in. Millen lost the stick, and now coming back is Wilson. Leaves it for Barber. To Wilson again. Hopping up across center is Wilson, coming in with McLeish. McLeish along the right wing boards to Wilson back of the net for Lindsman in the corner. Lindsman missed controlling it. Barber couldn't keep it in, and Bill Clement got it out to center ice. Millen nearly got away for Calgary. Here's Lever trying to break in. He's stopped by Barber. Coming back from Philadelphia. Wilson coming in as Lindsman. Lindsman along the line gets set, took a shot. A hard shot is nowhere near the net. Again kept in. Barber.
Holmgren got another penalty.
Another penalty coming up on this one. Holmgren of Philadelphia is going. This Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from the Spectrum in Philadelphia. Holmgren, Gary, is giving Pat Quinn fits. That's his third penalty. This one coming at 14:49.
Not only that, Bob, but all 3 penalties have been in the offensive zone. You see Holmgren taking a shot in the elbow against Don Lever, and you're putting your team in a very vulnerable position right now. And I think the next time Holmgren comes to the bench, somebody has to say something to him, one of the coaches, one of the players, not to change his style, but to certainly watch the elbow or the holding or the hooking. Still want to be aggressive, but you can do it without taking penalties.
So now, here's a steal by Bobby Clark. He nearly hooked the backhander right in on Riggin. Bailey feeds it into Clark, who gets it back. A nice shot by Leaf. And a great save by Riggin again. He's standing right up there, but Philadelphia coming close.
Well, very careless. The Flames in their own zone in that shift. Bobby Clark almost got one on the board. Both teams playing a man short. Look at Captain Brad Marsh. He will be Dave Hodges' guest in the intermission. I guess if you're going to talk to somebody, why not the captain? Find out what's going on with his club.
Murdoch has 13 seconds left in his penalty. Clark for Philadelphia fell to one knee but couldn't control the puck. It's in back to the Calgary net. Radicalio leaving it for Nilsson starting out. He dropped it back. Radicalio coming away. He has Reinhardt on the right. He takes the pass to Radicalio. Calgary at full strength. A long shot. It's offside. Nilsson skipped it over the line ahead of the puck. And it's called. But now, with Holmgren having a minute and 27 seconds left to serve in his penalty, the advantage goes to Calgary.
You see work on the contact lens. That's the soft lens right there by Brad Marsh. Cleaning it, and then he'll pop it in his eye. I wore the hard ones for a number of years, and surprising, a little knock on the side of the eye, and they'll pop right out on the ice. So most players have 5 or 6 spare sets for that emergency.
1:24 left in Holmgren's penalty. He's off for elbowing. Again, they call it. Face-off coming up in the center ice area. 2-0 Calgary.
Bob, I didn't mention this the other day, but we did a little feature in Calgary, and then after that, we're in their room to shower, and they have a punching bag in there, and they had a Flyers sweater on that punching bag, so the players were taking their turns punching that bag. Number 26 is the number on the jersey. I thought maybe they'd have 14.
I was going to ask you. That's Houston playing it back. Now Nilsson starting out. Got the center with Reinhardt stepping in behind him. He gets the pass. Reinhardt closing in. Had a great chance but didn't shoot it. Now he gets another chance but fell. And Wilson takes over for Philadelphia. With 54 seconds left in the penalty. Coming out is Gorance. He's up across center. Gorance working in with Bridgman now. Bridgman got the pass. Back for Gorance. Just wide of him. Calgary going back to take over and start back again. This is McMillan. He drops it to Reinhardt. Up across center ice. 35 seconds left in the penalty to Holmgren. The pass goes in, but again, they're offside at the blue line.
Flames seem to be very tentative right now on the last 2 power play opportunities. If they only realize that, gee, they could win the game on the power play alone and really get out there. You don't have to stay out there for 2 minutes and pace yourself. Have one line, take a minute, and then the next line. But go with a little more enthusiasm, a little more drive into those corners.
Well, I'll tell you, Gary, a goal here for Calgary on this power play, and they have 31 seconds left in that penalty to Holmgren. And what an uphill battle it will be for Philadelphia.
That's right.
Especially the way Riggin has been playing so far. Chouinard's pass goes through. Here's a chance for LaValle. It rolls right to the doorstep and was stopped in time. LaValle on for his first shift. He nearly got a goal. That's Radicalio back of the net. The pass didn't work. Now it does. LaValle gets away down the left side. Barber caught up with him. And it bounces in wide to the Philadelphia net where Bathe is back. He played it on the boards. Not out. Kept in by McMillan. Penalty is over. Holmgren back into the fray. In back of the net goes Gould, and he was stopped. It slides too far for Barber. Right in front. Gould tried to tip it and just barely missed it. Now it's Holmgren going in. LaValle falls, and he'll hold it there, and no further play.
Well, there's a good example that forechecking, get on the Flyers with their defense. They don't handle the puck that well. The play is around the boards. The defenseman can pick up a lot of stray passes. And those opportunities, Bobby McMillan looking for some goals from him. Number 19, Bobby Gould. Minor hockey in Petrolia. We must congratulate Petrolia. They won the Allen Cup this afternoon.
And right here, he's playing on a team that hopes to move on to the big one, the Stanley Cup. And right now, they're leading in this quarterfinal 7th game, 2-0 over Philadelphia with 2:35 left in the first period. Coming down, that's Gould, and his pass to center. That tipped by Poplinski. Cleared back in by Propp, and he was bumped right away by Russell at the blue line. That's Marsh, and Holmgren took him in on the boards rather heavily. Marsh gets back up. He's okay. Big, rough, tough Holmgren running into the Calgary defenseman. Murray played it on the boards. Holmgren tosses one into Propp. Here he comes with Lindsman. He falls, and it's cleared by Russell. Poplinski bumped by Holmgren. Now they're beginning to rough it up. The puck is frozen along the boards, and it's called.
Well, you'd think after 3 penalties, the guy would change his style. Not number 17. Really put a good, hard check against Brad Marsh, but this is making contact and keeping your elbows down. Good, solid hit, but Brad Marsh, look at him, up right away, ready to play again. And you can bet the next time Holmgren comes down, Brad Marsh will do the same to him.
Holmgren has drawn 3 penalties already in this first period. But, as you say, Gary, I know how to play one way, and I'll do it.
Well, in Game 5, it looked like Calgary was intimidated with the Flyers' tactics, but tonight, they will not be intimidated in the 7th game.
Referee Bruce Hood.
One of my buddies. I can tell you some stories about Bruce.
He can tell some about you, too.
Yeah, I know.
10-8 the shots at this point with 1:54 left in the period. Calgary, the aggressor in this first 20 minutes. First 18 up to this point. Kept in by Bailey. Leach couldn't get Goodwood on that shot. It just lofted in too high. And Houston cleared it to the center ice area. Back there is Bailey with Bays. He goes the other way down the ice. Reagan will have to play it in back of the net to get it away from Leach. Bathe is coming in to stop Houston. But the Calgary Flames, organizing their own zone, have to go back deep now. Murdoch in back of the net, 1:20 left in the period. That's McMillan starting out. McMillan's pass to the right side. They really got trapped. Tim clears. Murdoch coming in. Murdoch shoots it into the corner back of the net. And Murray takes over for Philadelphia. Here he comes. Out to center goes McLean. Got away from one check and another. Took the shot. It was blocked at the blue line. And Lever played it on the glass down the ice with 58 seconds left in the period. 2-0 Calgary. There's the pass stopped up near the line. Bridgman coming in. They stop him. He got his pass away, but Chouinard was there. Back with Plett and Lever trailing. Chouinard stopping, rolled it over in front of St. Croix. And the Philadelphia Flyers take over. Long pass went astray down the ice. This will be icing. 33 seconds left in the period, and you have a feeling, Gary, that Calgary is trying to end this period just like this, 2-0, and they're holding back.
Yes, they are. We look at Phil Russell. He has been a stalwart on defense. His forte certainly is one-on-one, taking the man out. But the last few shifts, the Flames have been very tentative in their forechecking. Actually, they're not even trying to force the Flyers in there. And I hate to see them play that way because things will happen. And also in their checking, they're starting to swing away from a man, not making contact. And when you do that, the guy has a lot of ice area, and he's going to hurt you, you know, if he's allowed to skate.
There's a pass going in front of the net. Plett gets it back to the blue line to Reinhart. He took a shot away up high into the crowd. Well, Gary, you know well what a 2-goal lead on this Philadelphia team is like. Nothing.
That's right. You know, they're going to battle, and I think if the Flames would just remember in game number 5 when they, or no, I'm sorry, it was game number 3 when they held that 5-2 lead going into the third period and almost lost it just by sitting back and trying to protect the lead.
St. Croix covers up. 15 seconds left of the period. Lindsman comes to center. He shoots one in off the boards. It's in back of the net. That's Holmgren after it. Calgary getting back. Plett didn't see it. Wilson trying to keep it in against Plett. And with 4 seconds left, they jam it on the boards and hold it there. So they'll pretty well kill the clock for this period. Only 4 seconds remaining.
Well, this guy has really rounded into an all-around hockey player. You know, does so many things for you. And he admits, look, I get a lot of goals from that crease area, and that's the reason I keep going there. But his playmaking, his leadership in the dressing room, you wouldn't believe it. I mean, he gets the guys going, and he can talk about playing aggressively because he plays that way.
Kerr is on for Philadelphia, number 12, to try to get to Troy. Gets it back near the line. Barber lets the shot go, but they run out of time here in the first period. The Flames getting the only 2 goals, and they hang on to this Philadelphia team after the first 20 minutes. Here's Dave Hodge.
Those 2 goals came on the power play. Willie Plett and Ken Houston, 2 important Flames for their work in front of the net, and that's where both goals came from. The penalties, 5 minors to the Flyers and 3 to the Flames, so a difference of 2 in penalties and a difference of 2 in goals, and those go hand in hand to explain the first period of play. The score at the end of 20 minutes then is Calgary 2 and Philadelphia nothing. The Flames 2 and the Philadelphia Flyers nothing in Game 7 of this quarterfinal series. Coming into this series, the power play, which also means penalties, said to be all important, and in that first period it certainly was. With me, the captain of the Flames, Brad Marsh. There seems a concerted effort on your part to stay out of the penalty box, to avoid being enticed in there by the Flyers, and to let them, if they wish to play it that way, suffer the consequences. Now, that's easier said than done, to get 19 guys to think the same way, but Al McNeil seems to have done a job in that regard.
Yeah, the last, over the 6 games, we've been, I think, beaten by Philadelphia's power play, because they're ranked, right now in the playoffs, they're ranking number 1, and you just don't win playoff games if you take penalties, even if they're, good ones or bad ones, as the term goes. So we decided, let them, if they want to get stupid or take the dumb penalties, let them do it, and we'll take the chances that we'll score on our power play.
Other teams, when trying to face that same dilemma, can be told, well, the problem is if you try and stay out of the penalty box, you get pushed around too much. Now, how do you avoid that?
Well, we thought they can't really get too stupid. They can't go out and play too aggressive or take stupid penalties, because it's the 7th game, and in a 7th game, home ice doesn't really mean a heck of a lot, because it's really whatever team gets the first break or gets the most breaks during the game. And so we're just going to take our chances, like I said before.
It's awfully important when you talk about home ice not meaning anything or not meaning as much in a 7th game, to do what you've done and get the lead. Not too many teams walk out of a first period leading Philadelphia. In the game you won here, you were tied after 1 period, and of course in 2 you lost. You were well out of it really by the end of the first period, so this has to make a big difference for the rest of the game.
Yeah, especially you look at the previous 3 games, we were behind 1-0 after the 4-minute mark, because we went out and we said, well, let's take the body to them, and we got, in the first game we got a charging penalty, second a boarding penalty, then a tripping penalty. In the 3rd game we were behind 1-0 before you know it, and being 1-0 to Philadelphia, it's a brand new game. You have to throw caution to the wind and go out and take chances just to get back into the game, and they're not the team you can do that against.
When we let you go to the dressing room in about 20 seconds, are you going to find a more confident bunch of teammates in there than perhaps walked into the building a couple of hours ago?
Yeah, everyone was, I don't think too many guys got much pre-game sleep this afternoon, because they're on edge. We were ahead 3-1, and we were confident. We were cocky 4 days ago that we were going to play Minnesota, and all of a sudden we say, holy smokes, what's happening? And so I think guys were on edge, and they were worried enough and proud enough to go out and take it to the Flyers.
The 2-0 lead will certainly help. Our thanks to Brad Marsh, the Calgary captain, and Hockey Night in Canada will return in just a moment.
Friday night in Edmonton, playoff experience paid off for the New York Islanders. They took advantage of all their opportunities and got great goaltending from Billy Smith to eliminate the Edmonton Oilers in the 6th game of the quarterfinal series. The Islanders led 2-1 in the 2nd period when they got a break. Bob Nystrom retrieved the loose puck and was able to go in all alone on Andy Moog. He beat Moog cleanly between the pads, and that increased the advantage to 2 goals. The Oilers got back within a goal 5 minutes into the 3rd period. The work was done by Glenn Anderson, who made a great move along the board to control the puck, and then went in with Mark Messier. Anderson's pass for Messier played perfectly, and Messier deked out Billy Smith to get Edmonton within a goal at 3-2. But the Oilers had problems in their own zone. Dennis Potvin shot it in behind the nets. The Oilers were unable to control it there. It came to Dwayne Sutter, who eluded a check and poked it in on the short side to beat Andy Moog for Sutter, his first goal of the playoffs at 9:16 of the third. A 2-goal lead for the Islanders there. They finished 5-2 winners over the Oilers in Game 6 in Edmonton. I'm John Wells reporting.
Game 6 at the Stampede Corral between the Philadelphia Flyers and the Calgary Flames saw both teams play very tentative hockey in that first 20 minutes. No scoring in the first period, but then at 3:35 of the second period, it's Ken Linseman on a steal as Paul Reinhart loses possession to Ken Linseman. He tucks it by Réjean Lemelin. Persistence pays off. It's 1-0. Just 16 seconds later, Bobby Clarke takes a clearing pass along the left boards, skates in free, makes one deke, and scores his third of the playoffs, 2-0 Philadelphia. Flames got to within 1 at the 16-minute mark when Guy Chouinard let an innocent shot go from center ice. Rick St. Croix tries to play it with his glove. It slips by to make it 2-1. But just before the period ended, the Flyers restored their 2-goal lead when Brian Propp sets up Ken Linseman on a perfect cross. Linseman's second of the night. The Flyers have a 3-1 lead after 2 periods. The Flames made it 3-2 on a power play goal at 13:49 of the third. Calgary controls the play. Chouinard a shot from the point. Ken Houston cuts by the rebound, but the Flames couldn't get another. The Flyers win 3-2. This is Gary Arthur with the Flyers and the Flames.
The New York Rangers here at Madison Square Garden defeated the St. Louis Blues 7-4 to win their Stanley Cup quarterfinal series 4-2. The Rangers, who finished in 13th place in the overall standings, thus eliminated the team that finished second in the overall picture, St. Louis. The Rangers built up a 4-0 lead by early in the second period on goal by Vickers, Hedberg, Duguay, and Beck. And then St. Louis staged a dramatic comeback. The Blues scored 3 goals in 1 minute and 50 seconds. The first one by Bernie Federko. Federko, number 24, backhanding it in behind Steve Baker. That cut the Ranger lead to 4-1. Now Rick Lapointe, number 18, over to Blair Chapman, back to Lapointe. And it's all of a sudden 4-2 in favor of New York. And then Federko again for St. Louis. His 8th goal of the playoffs, a Blues team record, and it narrowed the Ranger lead to 4-3. Federko beating Baker to cut the New York lead to 4-3. It remained that way until 17:03 of the second period. Here's Lance Nethery. Hits the goalpost, but gets his own rebound and gives New York a 5-3 lead. The Rangers then in the third period scored 2 more to the Blues 1. The Rangers won the game 7-4 and the series 4-2. This is Dan Kelly reporting on the Rangers and the Blues.
So 3 quarterfinal winners were decided on Friday night. Another will be decided tonight, and then the semifinals can begin on Tuesday. They'll begin at the Nassau Coliseum on Long Island, Islanders against the Rangers. And in the home rink of tonight's winner, either at Calgary or here in Philadelphia, the visiting team being the Minnesota North Stars. Coming up next, Howie Meeker with his first period highlights will return with the Stanley Cup playoffs in just a moment. 2-0 in favor of the Flames over the Philadelphia Flyers at the end of one period of play. It was probably automatic, Howie Meeker, that the Flames, in explaining the 6th-game loss and trying to build themselves up for this one, would talk about Willie Plett's absence in that game. They didn't have him, so maybe it was understandable they suffered. They have him tonight. It gives them a lift. In actuality, however, Plett's presence does mean all of that.
Well, it certainly does. I think he controls the corners. He's, as you said, he's very big, very strong. But on offense this year, he had a whale of a year, and he has great anticipation, something he's developed in the last 2 years. And on the power play, when you put him in front of the net, dynamite, couldn't get him out. And he's got that touch again, that touch with his hands of deflecting pucks in. We'd like to show you this is the penalty. And there you'll see in front of the net, Plett screening St. Croix. And watch Reed Bailey. He's tangling with Reed Bailey there, and the puck is going to come through, and I don't know how the goalkeepers make the save, but look at Bailey. Said, hey, you might kick it in with your foot, but there's no way in the world you're going to put it in with your stick. Just a great save by St. Croix. Now we have the goal just a few seconds later. This is the top of your screen with the puck. Barber is caught out of position, and again, it's Bailey that's way out of position. The puck will come over to Chouinard, and you just can't let Chouinard handle that puck. Back to Chouinard. Now he gets into the middle, into the slot, and look at all in front of the net plet. Nobody near him at all. Bath and Bailey are really out to lunch, and he just tips it by the startle St. Croix. Good goal.
And here's another one by another big right winger.
Well, that's Chouinard with the puck again, and watch Barber. You have to attack Chouinard, and on this play a little bit sooner it was Barber that fell, but he goes around Barber again like a hoop around a barrel, and the fellow who started it all, Houston, comes through the middle. Look at that pass between the legs, right in the stick, and oh, it's just a great, great goal.
So a couple of power play goals. Guy Chouinard assisting on both of them. What do you think the first period means to what we'll see the rest of the way?
Well, we all expected the Philadelphia club to come out of the barn, out of the gate like gangbusters, and they really didn't. They just come out and were just a big blob and nothing happening at all. As Gary said off the top of the show, they have to come out and establish control of the game in the Calgary end, and if they don't, they're in deep, deep trouble.
Well, they've got a long way to go to do that. Down 2 goals, it's not going to be done quickly is what I mean to say, because it could still be done by the Flyers, but it is Calgary 2, Philadelphia nothing, and let's go for the second period to Bob and Gary.
Okay, David. Plett and Houston, the goal scorers for the Calgary Flames. Plett at 3:03, his 6th of the playoff, and Houston is 5th at 8:33. And as you've heard, they were both power play goals. The shots, as you see, the Flames 10, the Flyers 8. Again, before we start this second period, we want to welcome viewers from coast to coast in Canada and 48 states throughout the United States. Gary, Philadelphia down 2 goals. They got to do something extra now.
Well, they've got lots of time to get back in the game, but I think they have to be disciplined in their attack, not get overly aggressive, you know, with the defenseman also moving in there so that they get caught on 3-on-1. And I'm certain that Flames will be watching for this, for that break to increase their lead.
Well, they're at even strength starting this second period. Philadelphia in control. Murray's long pass going astray down the ice. Calgary going back to pick it up. The Flames just play it harmlessly down to the left side. Coming back is Linsman. From around the net, Chouinard trying to knock it away from him. Can't do it. Then Wilson starts out to Holmgren. Holmgren's pass along the line goes astray at center again, and the Flames shoot it in. Now Linsman taking that pass. He's offside. It's called. Of course, Gary, Calgary has to stay on top of this Philadelphia team if they want to hang on and win this 7th game.
Well, they did, and a good play by Guy Chouinard. You know, it looked like Linsman was going to pick the puck up behind his own net, and Chouinard put on a burst of speed and deflected the puck away from him. You have to keep that puck away from Linsman, because we've seen in all the games his speed, the ability to pass to the wingers, break into the hole, get that return pass, and away he goes.
That's Kerr playing on the right side along Bobby Clark's line now with Barber on the left wing. So Leach has been benched for the time being anyway, as Pat Quinn tries to shake something up. Clark tried to make a play in front of the net, couldn't. Coming out is Nilsson. Decides to turn around again. Long pass off the boards near center. McMillan has it. McMillan coming in for Calgary. Took his hard shot, and it was deflected just wide. Rick St. Croix off balance as he tipped that one away. Now Marsh is coming back. This is Marsh and his shot in off